Bitcoin Satan says, can you explain why going into debt is good ever? Seems very fiat minded. I mean, I'm definitely under the same theory. I subscribe to the same theory as what's his name, Robert Kiyosaki, in terms of actually using debt to your advantage. And when he wrote his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it was focused around the real estate market. So what he said is you take some money, you buy some real estate, you get some equity in the house, maybe you do some improvements on it, maybe you just wait a little while, you take that, you refinance it, you buy another one. You don't pay any tax on that. And then you keep doing that. You keep building up equity in these different houses. You go back to the bank and refinance them, use that equity, buy another house. So you're never paying tax on it. You're never disposing anything. And when you take on debt in an efficient way, when you're actually using it for productive and appreciating assets, then it can be useful. And I think if you apply that same kind of strategy to Bitcoin, Bitcoin's the new version of that. It worked for real estate for a long time, but that comes with a lot of headaches as well. So you can replicate that. You can do the exact same thing, Rich Dad, Poor Dad strategy, but using Bitcoin instead. So that's what I'd say. And you have to pay attention to a couple things. One is the length of the loan. If it's like 1 or 2 years, that's when you can get into trouble. So try to go for like 5-10 years and make sure you pay attention to the rates too. You don't want to go like the credit card route where you're paying 19, 29, 39% interest. That's going to destroy you. So if you can find a long-term loan with somewhat reasonable rates and use that to buy appreciating assets like real estate or Bitcoin, then you're going to come out ahead, because it's very simple to figure out the spread there, right? Because you're paying about, say, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10% interest on the debt on the loan. And you have an asset that's appreciating historically at about 50 or 60% per year. So that difference there is where you make the profit. That's why it makes sense to do that. Other than that, horrible. Don't get into debt to buy fucking new sneakers or new golf clubs or new car even. I mean, car is a little bit different, but as soon as you drive it off the lot, it drops by about half in value. So a car, a vehicle would not be one of the appreciating assets that Robert Kiyosaki talked about. Duncan said, Jack Mallers is looking to integrate a lending option for Strike at some point. I mean, it makes sense. It makes so much sense. And this is just hearsay. This is just hearsay from the Daily Bitcoin Journey. But you know, we might have something like that coming in Canada here soon. And I would love to be involved in it. It just makes so much sense to me. Not so much like the $5,000 loans and the $2,000 loans, but more like the attaching it to a house, like with a mortgage. So I'm in the very early stages with a couple people here in Canada to offer something like that, because we talked about that a couple weeks ago on the show and how popular that's going to be. So I think that it just makes sense that why would we let somebody else do it? Why not us?